Hi everyone, welcome to Numeriq Learning. Today we are going to revise in one shot the entire chapter called Lines and Angles, which is there in class 9th. Okay, so the reason why I am doing this one shot is because many students, compared to the chapters like your number system, polynomials, linear equations, chapters which are more geometry related, starting from lines and angles, then triangles, and then circles, quadrilateral, many students find it really difficult. And my goal of the channel and the whole intention of me creating the videos is to make things simpler for you, okay, and for you to feel more confident that any kind of question that appears in your exam, you will be able to definitely be able to solve it. Okay, so let us start by revising lines and angles from the very beginning, and we will be solving important questions as well on along the course. So the very first thing here that you have to understand is, what do you mean by a line? Okay, a line is something that has length. Okay, it has a length but no breadth. But no breadth. Okay, so in very simple terms, if you say a line has no fixed length, okay, so it can keep on extending on both the directions. So suppose, okay, so if I draw a line, okay, so this is a line and it can extend on both the directions, right? It has only length, there is no breadth at all. Okay, so line specifically has no fixed length, and it is normally denoted by suppose you have a line, say AB, and it's extending on both the directions, so you will denote it with AB and a bidirectional arrows. Okay, this is how you denote a line, right? Now in that entire line which has no fixed length, right, a line has no fixed length. Okay, so if you are taking a small part of a line that has a starting point, okay, and you also have an end point. That means if you are taking a small segment of the line, then this is called as line segment. Okay, line segment. And line segment always has a fixed length. Okay, and whenever you have a line segment, it is denoted by AB and then just a line. Okay, because it's just a part of a line but both the ends are fixed. Okay, and this is how you denote a line segment. That means it starts at A, ends at B. Okay, so it's a part of line with both the ends that are fixed. So this is your line segment. And here the one which I have written, wherein it extends on both the direction, this is what is called a line. Now suppose you have got a line, okay, and there is a part of a line, okay, which has a fixed starting point but there is no end point. So it goes on, there is no end point, and that is what is called a ray. Okay, it's called a ray. So what is a ray? A ray is a part of a line which has a fixed starting point. So this is your starting point. Okay, this is your starting point and there is no end point. And how is it? And that's what is called a ray. It's a part of a line which has a fixed starting point but no end point. You denote it with AB, and so it can either be from A to B, right? Or in either cases you can write, if it is from B to A, it will denote, you can denote it with B to A. That means the starting point is B and it is going along the direction of A. Okay, so there are three things that we studied. What is so far what did we see? So this is nothing but a line that has no fixed length. It goes in either directions, right? If you take a part of a line which has got starting and ending points are fixed, then it is called a line segment. If you have one, the starting point alone is fixed and there is no endpoint, then it is called a ray. So let me summarize it for you. AB with a bidirectional arrow, this is a line. Okay. If you have AB and the 2 endpoints are fixed, then it is called a line segment. And suppose you have your AB, one point is, the starting point is fixed and the end point is not fixed. That means it goes on. Then it is called a ray. So this is how you denote it. Okay. Now, hope this is clear. Now the next one is, what do you mean by collinear points? Collinear points. Right? So if you have more than 3 or more points that lie on the same line, okay, say for example, I have drawn a line and you have points A, B, C. All the 3 points, they lie on the same line. Then these points are called as collinear points. Okay, so an example is here. All A, B, C are collinear points. Suppose I have the 3 points, that is A and then B and then C. Okay, so these, if I'm joining A, B is one, B, C is another. Okay, A, B, C are 3 points and there is a line joining the 3 points, but they are not in the straight on the same line. So the points which do not lie on the same line, these are called as non-collinear points. Non-collinear points. Okay, so it's very important that you understand the basics, okay, before you start solving the problem. So these are things which you have to remember. Okay, now the next thing is, what do you mean by concurrent lines? Concurrent lines. Okay, so suppose you have 3 or more lines like this. Okay, so this is one line and then this is another line. Okay, and again this is a third line. All these lines, 3 or more lines, okay, you call it concurrent if they all intersect at a same point. So here you have a common point, say O, and you have more than 2-3 lines. If all of them, they intersect at the same point, then these lines are called as concurrent lines. Okay, 3 or more. Okay, so you have, I'm going to write it, 3 or more lines are said to be concurrent if they intersect at the same point. Okay, at the same point. So these are concurrent lines. Now, what do you mean by intersecting lines? The next definition is intersecting. Intersecting lines. What do you mean by intersecting lines? Sorry. So if you have 2 lines that have a common point, so this is one line and this is another line. Okay, so you have these 2 lines have one common point, say O, or 2 lines, they cut each other at a single point O. Then these lines are called as, say this is L and this is M. These L and M are called intersecting lines. Okay, so I hope you understood what are collinear points. If you have 3 or more points lying on the same line, then they are called as collinear points. If 3 or more points do not lie on the same line, they are called as non-collinear points. Concurrent lines means if you have 3 or more lines that intersect at a common point, they are called concurrent. Intersecting means if you have only 2 lines that cut each other at a common point, they are called as intersecting lines. Okay. Now, how many lines can you pass through a single point? So if you have a point A, right, a single point A, how many lines? You will have infinite number of lines passing through a single point. Okay, this is something which you should remember. There are infinite number of lines that can pass through a single point. That's something to note. Okay, there can be infinite number of lines that can pass through a single point. Okay, but if there are only 2 points, okay, suppose you only have 2 points, namely say P and Q, how many lines do you think can pass? It's only a single line that can pass if you have two given points. Okay, so that's something which you have to remember. Now the next is nothing but what do you mean by angles? Okay, what do you mean by angles? Angle is nothing but when you have two rays. Okay, this is one ray and this is another ray. Okay, so here what is ray? Ray is nothing but something which has one fixed point and the other one is an extended point, right? So you have ray AB is one ray, AC is another ray. Okay, so the angle is nothing but when two rays they meet at a same endpoint, then an angle is formed. So for example, so this is an arm. Okay, AC is an arm, AB is also an arm. When they meet at a point a fixed point A, this is called the vertex. Okay, this is called the vertex of the angle. Okay, this point is the vertex. And you have an angle that's formed. Let me take an angle theta. Now, this angle, you can write it as angle, say CAB. You can write it as angle CAB, or you can write it as angle BAC, or you can write it as angle theta. Okay, now what do you mean? So the rays that make an angle, they are called the arms of the angle. These are called the arms of the angle, and the end point is called the vertex of an angle. So there are two terms here. What do you mean by arms of an angle? So arms of the angle is nothing but your ray AC and the ray AB. These are the arms of the angle. And what is the vertex of the angle? Vertex of the angle, it's nothing but your point A. That's your vertex, right? And the unit of angle is nothing but your unit is nothing but degree. Okay, your unit is degree. Now there are different kinds of angle. Kinds of angles. Suppose the very first angle is called acute angle. Okay, so acute angle, if it is less than 90 degree, then it is called as acute angle. So you have say A, B, C. Okay, so angle BAC is less than 90 degree, possibly 45 degree. So the very first angle is nothing but it's called an acute angle. Acute angle is always less than 90 degree, right? Now, if you have exactly 90 degree, okay, now this is what is called as, suppose you have BAC is 90 degree, then this angle is called as right angle. I'm going to write it here, right angle. That means equal to 90 degree. Okay. Now, if it is greater than 90 degree, okay, suppose I'm just going to draw it in the same one, greater than 90 degree, then it is called as obtuse angle. OBTUSE. Obtuse angle. That means more than 90 degree. fourth one is straight angle. What do you mean by straight angles? So suppose if you have a line, you have A, B and C. So this angle is completely 180 degree and it's called straight angle. Okay, so this is nothing but straight angle is always 180 degree. Now fifth one, if it is more than 180 degree but less than 360, then it is called as, so suppose this is A, here this is B and C. Okay, so angle BAC, this is more than 180 degree, then it is called as reflex angle. Reflex angle is nothing but more than 180 degree but less than 360. Okay, and the last one is called a complete angle, which is equal to 360 degree. Okay, this is called the complete angle. So you have A, C, and then you also have B here. So this is a complete angle which is 360 degree. One complete angle. The angle around a point is always 360 degree. So these are the different kinds of angles that you should remember. Okay. Now the next one is very important. So these were all basics, right? All the basic types of line. What do you mean by a ray? What do you mean by a line segment? What do you mean by concurrent lines, intersecting lines? And then we saw about angles. Okay, next one is called adjacent angles. What do you mean by adjacent angles? Okay, so two angles are said to be adjacent if they have a common vertex. Okay, so let me draw and then show it to you. This is one arm, this is another arm, okay, and this is a common arm. So here, see, let this be the vertex. Okay, let this be the vertex. You have C, you have B, and you have A. Okay, so this is one angle, this is angle 1 and this is angle 2, right? So what is OA and OC? These are, so you have two angles. Okay, now two angles here, angle 1 and angle 2 are called to be adjacent. They are said to be adjacent if they have a common vertex. Okay, so do they have a common vertex? Yes, they do have. Angle 1 and 2 they have. So angle 1 is formed by OA and OB. Angle 2 is formed by OB and OC, and O is the common vertex, right? Now for both the angles, you have got a common arm. OB is a common arm, right? And these OA and OC they are the non-common arms which are on the opposite sides of the common arm, right? So let me write this for you. So here in our figure, angle 1 and angle 2 can be called as adjacent angles only if OA and OC, okay, they are on the opposite sides of the common arm OB. Okay, only if that's the case, then you can say that angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent angles. They are adjacent angles. Okay, so in order for two angles to be adjacent, they should have a common arm O. Okay, in our case it's OB. They should have a common vertex O, and then two non-common arms on the opposite side of the common arm. Okay, Now let me draw another figure here. Okay. So suppose you have a figure like this. This is one line. This is another ray. Okay. Now, okay. So this is, say, let this be 3, angle 3, and let this be angle 4. Okay. Now tell me, can you say that angle 3 and angle 4 are adjacent? How will you check it? It is nothing but you should see if angle 3 and angle 4 have a common vertex. Yes, they do have a common vertex. Okay. And do they have, first of all, so the first checkpoint in order to say that angle 3 and angle 4 are adjacent angles, what are the checkpoints that you have to do? Number 1, does it have a common vertex? Common vertex. Yes, it does have a common vertex O. Does it have a common arm? Common arm. Yeah, it does have a common arm. Let's say OA. Okay, let this be B and let this be C. So common arm is your OA. Okay, ray OA. And does it have non-common arms on the opposite sides? Yes, it does. So you have got non-common arms on the opposite sides, on the opposite sides of the common arm. Okay. So when these three conditions are satisfied, then you can say angle 3 and angle 4 are called, they are adjacent. Okay. Now comes a question for you. So the question is, you have to find or tell me, is angle 1 adjacent to angle 2 in the figure? Okay. And the question is like this. So here you have got your angle 1 and this is your angle 2. Now tell me, does it have a common vertex? Angle 1, where is the common vertex? This is your common vertex, right? This is the vertex for 1 and this is the vertex, O dash is the vertex for angle 2. Do they have a common vertex? No. So the very first point is they do not have a common vertex. Okay. Do they have a common arm? Yeah, common arm is there. O dash is a common arm. Okay. Even if one condition is not satisfied, we can not say that angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. So you have to say no, angle 1 and angle 2 are not adjacent. Are not adjacent angles. Okay. They are not adjacent angles because they do not have a common vertex. So in order for two angles to be called as adjacent angles, all these 3 points have to be satisfied. It should have a common vertex, it should have a common arm, and the non-common arms should be in the opposite side of the common arm. Okay. Now the next one is nothing but what are complementary angles. The next topic is what are complementary angles. Okay. Complementary angles. Very, very easy. And you can definitely expect, 1 mark question related to complementary angles, and the other one is supplementary angles. Okay, let me write it here itself. Supplementary angles. Supplementary angles. Okay. So, two angles are said to be complementary if the sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degree. So, you can say two angles are complementary if their sum of the angles, right? If the sum is equal to 90 degree, then you can call the two angles are complementary to each other. But two angles can be called as supplementary if the sum is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so two angles are supplementary if their sum is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so tell an example for complementary angle. Say you have got 20 degree. What is the complementary to 20 degree? 90 minus 20, which is 70 degree. What is the complementary angle to 10? 90 minus 10, which is 80. Right? For 30, tell me the complementary angle of 30 degree. 90 minus 30, which is 60 degree. So these are all complementary angles. Okay. But if the sum is not 90 degree, if it is greater than 90 degree, or if it is not equal to 90 degree, then they are not complementary. This is something which you have to remember. Okay. Only if the sum of the two angle is equal to 90 degree, only then can you call that these angles are complementary angles. Otherwise, no. Okay. Now let's come to supplementary angles. Now, for supplementary, all you have to remember is if the sum of the two angle is equal to 180 degree. So what is the supplementary angle for 20 degree? Supplement 180 minus 20. Okay, so 180 minus 20 is nothing but your 0, 6, 160, right? So 160 is the supplementary angle for 20 degree. Okay, now suppose I have got 171 degree and I want to find the supplementary angle for 171. So what will you do? 180 minus 171, right? So which is 9. So 9 degree is the supplementary angle for 171 degree. Okay. Another example, suppose it's 110. Find the supplementary angle for 110. What will you do? 180 minus 110, which is 70 degrees. So 70 degree is the supplementary angle. Okay. Now a couple of questions. These are the kinds of questions. So it's very, very easy. Always remember, complementary means the sum is 90 degree. Supplementary sum is 180 degree. Okay. So a couple of questions. What is the complement of 57 degree? What will you do? Complement means 90. So 90 minus 57. Just do the subtraction. 10, 8. So it's 3, 3. 33 degree is the complementary angle for 57 degree. Okay. Next one. What is the complement of say 41 degree? So what will you do? Since it's complement, you immediately take 90 minus 41. Okay. So here you have 9. 8 minus 4 is 4. 49 degree. Okay. So whenever you are given if you are asked to find the complement of any angle, even if it is x, okay, x degree, the complement will always be 90 minus x. Right? Suppose the question is find the complementary angle of say 40 plus x degree. Okay. So what will you do? Just do 90 minus the given angle, that is 40 plus x. So open the bracket, you will have 90 minus 40 minus x. 90 minus 40 is 50 minus x. So this is your complementary angle. Okay, so such questions can be expected for your 1 mark as an MCQ. Okay, now the next question. The question is the ratio of two complementary angles, the ratio of two complementary angles is 2:3. Find the angles. Okay. Find the angles. Now, so you are given the ratio of two complementary angle is 2:3. Find the angle. So let the angles be, okay, let the angles be 2x and 3x. Okay, since they are complementary, you are already given the two angles are complementary. So what is the sum of the two angles? It is 90 degrees. So 2x plus 3x equal to 90 degree. You have to write the reason, because it's given that the angles are complementary. The angles are complementary. Okay. So 5x equal to 90 and x is equal to 90 divided by 5. So you have 5 ones are 5, 45 eights are, so 18 degree. X is 18, but that's not what is asked. What is asked? You have to find what are the angles. The angles we have assumed it as 2x and 3x. So just substitute and write. Okay, so therefore the angles are 2x, which is nothing but 2 into 18 degree. Okay, that is 36 degrees one angle. 3x, 3 into 18, which is 54 degrees. So these are the angles that are asked. So find the angles. The required angles are 36 and 54. Okay, and they are complementary to each other. So if you add 36 and 54, you will get 90. Right? That's why they have been told as complementary, and that's why we had applied the sum as 90 degree. Okay. So now the same way you have to find the supplement of the given angles. Let's do the same ways for supplement. So in order to find the supplement of any given angle, you will have to know that the sum of the angle is always 180 degree. Let's do a few questions. Find the supplement of the following angles. Okay. The first question is 118 degree. So how will you do? The supplement will always be 180 minus the given angle. Okay. So 62 degree. So therefore the supplement of 118 is 62 degree. Okay, so because you know the sum of the angles will always be 180. So if one angle is given, you can do 180 minus the given angle. Okay, so suppose the question is find the supplement of 100 plus x degree. How will you do? So the supplement of 100 plus x degree is nothing but 180 minus 100 plus x. Okay, so which is nothing but 180 minus 100 minus x, which is nothing but your 80 minus x. Okay, so this is how you have to do if you are asked complement or supplement. Okay, now there are certain questions which can be a little tricky. Let us do that, and these questions are important. Let's see a few more important questions. The first question is find the angle which is number 1 20 degree more than its complement. Okay, So don't panic if you are asked questions of more or less than complement, less than supplement. Do not panic. You have to find an angle. So first always assume let the angle be x. Okay, let the angle be x. So since it's asked complement, right? Find the complement of x. So the complement of x will be complement of x will be 90 minus x degree. Right? Okay. Now what is asked? 20 more than the complement. Let's write it. 20 degree more than the complement. What will it be? So the angle is nothing but 20 degree more than plus the complement. What is the complement? 90 minus x. Now you have to solve for x. Okay. So let's open the bracket. 20 plus 90 minus x. Here LHS is x. So take your minus x to your LHS part, which will be x plus x equal to 90 plus 20, 110. So 2x is equal to 110, x is equal to 110 divided by 2. So 55 degree. So the answer is 55 degree. Okay. But what are you asked? You're not asked to find the angle. You're asked to find the angle which is 20 more than its complement. Right? Now what is the complement of this? So you have to find, this is what you have to find. Okay, so complement of x. X is 55. So what is the complement of 55 degree? It's nothing but 90 minus 55. Okay, so you have 10, 8, 5, 3. 35 degree. Correct? So what is asked? 35 degree is nothing but it is 20 more than, right? 20 more than 35 is 55, right? Plus 20. So that is what is asked. You have to find the angle which is 20 more than its complement. Okay. So find the angle. Let the angle be x. Find the complement 90 minus x. 20. The angle is 20 more than the complement. So x is nothing but 20 more than the complement. Find x. And then, so you have found x and then find the complement of x, which is 90 minus the given angle. The one which you have just calculated. Okay. So these are the kinds of questions which normally come in the exams. Okay. Let's do another question based on the same kind. Suppose if you are asked, the question is find the angle, copy. The next question is find the angle which is 35 degree less than its supplement. Let's do the same way. So again, as I said, do not panic. Let us start by assuming the given angle as x. Let the angle be x. Okay, let the angle be x. Now let us find the supplement. You are asked the supplement, right? So let us find the supplement of x. The supplement of x will be 100, and supplement means two angles whose sum is 180. So 180 degree minus x will be the supplement. Now what is given? Your angle is 35 less than the supplement. Okay. So what is 35? Your x is nothing but 35 degree less than the supplement. Isn't it? So your x is nothing but 35 less than the supplement. So what is your supplement? 180 minus x. This is your supplement. Minus, you have to subtract it from 35. Let us calculate x now. So you have 180 degree minus x minus 35. LHS is x. Take all the x on one side. So x plus x equal to 180 degree minus 35. Okay. So you will have 145. 145. Correct? So you have your 2x will be 145. So x will be nothing but 145 divided by 2. So what is 145 divided by 2? So 2 sevens are 14, 2 twos are 4.5. So it is nothing but 72.5 degree. That's your x. And what is the supplement? You're asked to find the supplement of x, right? So supplement will be supplement of your x, which is 72.5, will be equal to 180 degree minus 72.5. Okay. So can do the carryover subtraction. Do not make a mistake. So 0.5. Here you have a 7. 7 minus 7, 0. 107.5 is the answer. 107. So the answer is 107 because you are asked to find the angle which is 35 degree less than the supplement. Okay. So the supplement is this. So the final answer will be your angle x. Okay. So you have assumed this is your x and you're just finding out the supplement as well. So 72 degree is how many times less than? It's 35 less than the supplement. The supplement is 107. So 70. So this is your final answer. Okay. Now let's do some more questions. The next question is find the angle. Find the angle whose complement, okay, is 1 by 6th of its supplement. Okay. So you have got both the terms here. You'll have to do it very carefully. Find the angle whose complement is 1/6 of the. So you are asked to find an angle, right? Let's always start by writing that let the angle be x. Let the angle be x. Okay. You have to find both complement and supplement, right? So what is the complement? Complement. I'm just going to write it as C. Complement of x will be 90 minus x, as you all know. What is the supplement of x? Because you also need that. So supplement, I'm just going to denote it with S. Supplement of x is nothing but your 180 minus x. Right? These two are clear. Now, according to the question, I'm just going to translate the question. Complement is, okay, so C is complement, is nothing but equal to 1 by 6th of the supplement. This is what is the question. So whatever was the given question, complement is 1/6 of the supplement. I've just translated it into in terms of your equation. So what is now replace it? What is complement? C is equal to, you have 180, 90 minus x. So complement is nothing but 90 minus x is equal to 1 by 6th of, what is your supplement? 180 minus x. Now can you solve for x? Yeah. Cross multiply, take 6 to the other side. So you'll have 6 multiplied by 90 minus x is equal to 180 minus x. 9 into 6 is 54, add a 0, minus 6x is equal to 180 minus x. Okay, so 540 minus 180 is equal to, take 6x here, 6x minus x. So you have your 5x And what is 540 minus 180? So 360, right? So you have 360 is the difference, equal to 5x. So x is equal to 360 divided by 5. Okay, so you have 5 sevens are 35, 5 twos are 10. X is nothing but your 72 degree. Okay, so you have to find the angle whose complement is 1/6 of the supplement, right? So your angle is find the angle. The angle is 72 degree. So 72 degree is the angle. And what is the complement and what is the supplement? Complement is nothing but your 90 minus 72, right? So you'll have your 18 degree is your complement. And what's your supplement? 180 minus 72. So you have your 108. 108. Okay. So what is given? Complement 18 is nothing but 1/6 of 18 is nothing but 1/6 of 108. Yes. Okay. So if you take 6 ones are 6, 48, 8s are 48. So this is what is asked. Okay. You have just got the final angle which is 72 degrees. This is just for your validation. Okay. This is just for your validation. The answer is 72 degree. Hope you understood. Okay. So whenever you get such questions, don't panic. Always start by writing that, okay, the angle that you have to find, let it be x. Complement. Find the complement of x, 90 minus x. Find the supplement of x, 180 minus x. Then complement is c equal to 1/6. 1/6 of multiplication supplement s. This is exactly what I have written here. And then replace. What is complement of x? 90 minus x. 1/6 multiplied by supplement. Solve for x very, very clearly without any mistakes. So you get x is equal to 72. That's your answer. You can either stop it there or you can probably validate it like this. Okay. So for the given angle, what is the complement? What is the supplement? And then you check if 18 is 1/6 of 108. It will definitely come. So this is your answer. So probably this question can come for your 2 or 3 marks. 2 or 3 marks. It's an important question. Okay. Let's do one more question related to this. Find the angle. Find the angle whose supplement is 4 times the complement. Okay, so you have got both these terms here, supplement and complement. You have to find the angle. So how should you start writing the solution? Always start by writing, let the angle be x. Let the angle be x. Okay, so what is the complement of x? Complement of x is nothing but your 90 minus x. Supplement of x, because you have both the terms that are involved in the question. Supplement of x will be 180 minus x. Correct? Degree. Now, according to the question, supplement is, right? Read the sentence. Find the angle whose, read from here to here. Supplement is. So, I'm going to write supplement s is 4 times the complement. Right? 4 times means 4 multiplied by complement. That's all. So now replace. So what is S? S is nothing but your 180 minus X is equal to 4 times, what is C? 90 minus X. Put it in the bracket. Now open the bracket and solve it. So you have 180 minus X is equal to 9 4s are 36. 360 minus 4X. Right? Take everything to one side. So 4x comes here, 4x minus becomes plus. 4x minus x is equal to 360 minus 180. What is 360 minus 180? It's again 180 only. 180, 4x minus x is 3x, right? So x is equal to 180 divided by 3. So 3 6 are 18. X is equal to 60 degree. That's your answer. Okay. So for 60 degree, what is the complement? 90 minus 60. 90 minus 60, which is nothing but 30 degree. Okay. And what is the supplement? 180 minus 60, which is 120. 120 degree. 120 degree. Okay. So this is the complement. This is the supplement. However, the angle is 60 degree. This is your answer. So this is how you get, probably if it comes for 2 marks or 3 marks, you will be able to score full marks here. So do not, think that these kinds of questions are difficult. It's very, very easy. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, one other very important thing is nothing but I mentioned about the adjacent angles, right? So always, okay, the complementary and supplementary angles, they don't have to be adjacent. Okay, they don't have to be adjacent. For example, suppose you have got, okay, suppose you have a line, a straight line, okay, and here, so this is your 60 and this is your 120. Let's see. Okay, now this angles are adjacent to each other. Correct? These angles are adjacent to each other because they have a common arm, they have a common vertex, isn't it? And but however, if you have, say, this is your 120 degree, okay, this is your 120 degree, and this is your 60 degree. These are the two angles given. These are not adjacent. They are separate, right? They are different vertex. They are completely different. So they are not adjacent. So these are small things which you have to remember. Okay, not always two angles can, the two angles which are called as complementary or supplementary, they need not necessarily be adjacent to each other. Okay, that's something which you have to remember. So with this, I will just pause the video. Okay, we just started, and we today in this video we just completed what are, just to summarize. Okay, so I will continue in the next video. So to summarize, we started with understanding about line segment, ray, and then about angles, and then about adjacent angles. Okay, we saw about adjacent angles, and we saw about complementary and supplementary angles, and we did some problems based on complementary and supplementary angles. Okay, so I will stop the video here and we will continue in the next video. Possibly we will in another video we can definitely cover the remaining topics. Okay, if you have any doubts, please do let me know. If the video was clear or if you were able to understand the topics that I covered in this video, please spend 10 seconds of your time and please put it in the comments so that I get to know that my video was of help to you during your revision. Let me know. Do support by subscribing, and see you all in the next video. Thank you.